and rhythm, my idea. So I sat there with the actor, cut this, cut that. So eventually, I didn't lose any of actions, you know. I was all put in the screen. So it's just great, nice.
Yeah, and I think it looks beautiful, doesn't it? The action's amazing in the film. And I guess that it does highlight the difference between working in the West and working in the East, actually, because if you're familiar with Hong Kong cinema and sort of American cinema, in American cinema, you know, as you said, usually the director will say, no, you can't do this, or can you do it this way? Whereas in Asia, you know, the action directors, they do everything. They do the camera angles, they do the, you know, they decide the scenes, the editing, the order. Sometimes they bring the editor down as well. It's very common in Hong Kong films, and I know you've done some work in China as well. Because I know you worked on The Great Wall as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
So was that a similar experience?
Well, that's is not quite, because it's still a Hollywood film. It's a big budget film, huge budget. And you talk about sometimes they have 2,000-3,000 extras. The extras are from different martial arts schools, a lot from Shaolin Temple, and some from the other, you know, nearest martial arts schools. And just bizarre, you know, because obviously different. We have all departments. Everybody come from, you know, different country. We talk about, you know, like probably 5-6 different countries, or, you know, technicians and stunt guys. And we have, like, you know, probably like over 100 stunt guys. And it's bizarre and experience, and because everybody have different kind of way of thinking. The Chinese and the Americans and the Brits and the South Africans, you know, everybody, they all think that they're the best one, you know. So it's created this kind of atmosphere. It's quite hard. So I'm in the between, because you know, I was fight coordinator. So obviously the Chinese and the West, and they don't really get on that much. So before I went there, they have different teams from America, and they're on, they're left. So I step in. So I have to really connect with Chinese and obviously the West crews, you know, especially the stunts or whatever. So it's hard work, but and there's a reward, and I learned, you know, obviously a lot, you know, from the Chinese side, and also the experience, you know, working in China is something very different from, you know, from here. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So with Loi Bao, one of the things I noticed about the action scenes is that, yes, the character is kind of a superhero in his head, but it's not like an overpowered superhero in terms of like Superman or Captain America or something like that. So the way you designed the action was still fairly grounded in realism. You know, was that a deliberate choice?
Yes, and obviously when I spoke to Victor Wu, the director, and he's saying, look, this is a superhero, but not like Captain America, not like Batman, you know, Spider-Man. So they don't have a kind of superpower, but they're stronger, and obviously they're human, you know, and you just have to think about everything you want to look about real. So I said, well, obviously, superhero. So you obviously we can't make like Spider-Man and, you know, Batman. So we had to think the ways. I had to think about, okay, that's before I went to Vietnam, and I had a Skype conversation with the director. So we had a long discuss, and I told him what I thought, and obviously had to connect with the character. So, you know, obviously we had a couple of, you know, Skype meetings, and after that I went to Vietnam. So we had more meetings, and he basically, you know, told me about more what he wants, and obviously I told him about what I, you know, like to express, you know, on the screen. So it's good things, obviously, after a while, you know, he trusted me. And so we had probably 4 or 5 weeks prepping, and we had all some guys, you know, every day with actors. The Gong 7, he's a quite famous singer in Vietnam, and he stopped, obviously, you know, performing. He spent a whole month just with us, training every single day. So obviously a lot of fight. You know, and then he jumped over, and after the field fight, basically, I shot him. I didn't use doubles, only in the end or whatever, you know. So that's the result. You know, sometimes we don't have a lot of time to shoot doubles and actors. So if you had just shoot the actors, a lot easier, quicker, save money.
Yeah. Okay. So Jason, as I know we have some Vietnamese representation in the audience tonight. Thanks for coming. I just wanted to talk to you quickly about sort of the Vietnamese film industry generally, because it's not known for producing action films. So is Loi Bao quite an unusual film to come out of Vietnam in that sense, that Vietnam isn't known for making like, hard-hitting action films like this.
Yeah, so because of that, that's why originally the director Victor Vo, he was very reluctant to make this as an action movie. Hence, he was more like leaning toward like a thriller. But like after I came to Vietnam and spent time with him, I kind of convinced him that we can do it. And I think it definitely is the first Vietnamese superhero. Since then, there have been quite a few other action films came out. Like last year, there was a film called Fury or something like
Fury,
on Netflix at the moment. And then also we had another one that we just finished, we just done last year, called The Immortal, after Loi Bao. So that's also an action film as well. So quite a few films since then. But like, yeah, we're not known for like action movies and stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, I was just thinking about another film that came from a territory that wasn't known for its action, which is called Jailbreak, which I'm sure you're familiar with, and I'm sure some of the audience are as well. So Jailbreak was from a new territory which wasn't known for action at all, so they faced a lot of challenges filming it because they didn't have anyone who could do the action and the stunts they needed. So did you have the similar kind of challenges and problems as well?
Yeah, funny you asked that because, when Vincent first came to Vietnam, I was really nervous because Vincent worked in Hollywood films and in UK and so on, and I know how it works over here. Like you have the stunt team, they're all really expert. There's so many of them you can choose. Basically, there's one for every kind of danger scene that you need, and then also the equipment as well. Like the safety equipment in Vietnam is really basic, and so when Vincent came to Vietnam, it was like he had to. So for example, reaction, because like over there they kind of do like in a theater kind of style where you get shot, you just fall down like unconvincingly. So Vincent would just like spend like every morning just practice with them and say, bang, I shoot you, now you fall down, bang, bang, like that, and they just react. So he just trained them in reacting, how to react to like a punch or a kick or whatever to make it look real. So he trained those guys quite some time to get the rhythm right. Yeah, so, and some other scenes like in Loi Bao, there's a scene where the hero Loi Bao jumped from the roof of the building to the van, to the lorry. Well, that's done by Vincent because the stunt guy did it, and Vincent didn't like the shape of the body. That when he fly down from the roof, it didn't look like tough. So then Vincent said, "Listen, let me just go up and do it." So he just ran up from the monitor, put on the clothes, and he just run up, go up to the roof and jump down.
Yeah, so how did that feel?
Actually, that's quite funny. And that's the first day we showed the jump, and we have a double. We have a parkour double and a fire double and drive as well. And this guy is parkour guys, so probably like 70, 80 foot on the wires. So I said, okay, fine. And as I shoot, I was sitting monitor with the director. First jump come over, because as the HC from film, you have to hold positions. I need a long enough shots all the way down. And obviously, imagine the truck on the bottom, so I need enough shot come all the way down. Unfortunately, the human's gravities, the weight is jump off. You can't hold, you automatically start losing positions. I want you to hold all the way until you hit the truck. So he did it of his first take, just come out, like start losing. And second take as well, then the director looked at me and said, any better? I said, no. I said, I don't think he can do it. He said, what are you going to do? I said, simple, I do it. I said, what do you do? He's surprised, yeah, sure. Sure, yeah, sure. So I said, I just get rid of you, call the costume guys come over, let me put on that on, and I go jump. And I said, wow, acting director do jump. Yeah, sure, no big deal. Save money, save every penny. And so I just went there. I went there and so do you need rehearsal? No, just do it. Come on, I have no time. Just shoot. Just not that Hollywood. We take 3 days. We're prepping. No, we just do the scene. I have no time. I said okay. I said guys, look, all the white guys. So look, just make sure, right? Make sure, and don't let me hit the ground. Okay? So I'll put another couple of guys just in case, and just went there and just did it. Boom, and one take, come down. I jump, come down, look monitor. And there's what do you think? I said, yeah, it's fine, good. Let's go, move on. That's it. Let's go on to another one. So that's good.
So when Vincent said he gonna do it, yeah. So the way that we let Vincent fly down is that there were 6 guys holding the rope, and it was a skinny stunt guy that was gonna fly down, and then you just let go the rope, and then the guy just fall down right from the roof. But when I find out that it's Vincent, I quickly throw like 12 guys just holding the rope. There's no machine to let go the cable, yeah. It's just done by hand. And then anyway, afterward, when Vincent did the jump, all the stunt guy came over and got to me, wow, big brother, just talk.
It's very much like sort of Sammo Hung during the 80s Hong Kong films,
I must say, it's like when I see the wires, the blood hell. Never seen the wire like this. All the metal ones, I was like, "You sure can hold me, I said, yeah, don't worry, I can hold it. I said, yeah, I said, so, wow, this is kind of things, I never ever use that, how to work. That's why I said, let this guy do first. I'm looking, okay, it's working. Okay, I said no, I can do it.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So, so you said after that it sort of kick-started a trend in action films in Vietnam.
Well, I don't know if it's because of us, but I'm just saying it did help, but I wouldn't say just because of us, that because they obviously had some action film in the past as well, and so on, but I'm sure it does help in some way.
Yeah, so you mentioned a project called The Immortal that you just finished, so do you want to tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so in the middle of filming this movie, Victor, I knew, had a script for The Immortal, and it was like a supernatural thriller. But the hero is like, think of like Wolverine. He doesn't die, but he can feel pain. You know what I mean? But like it wasn't like an action film. But as we were shooting this movie, halfway through, the director and I got so excited with Vincent does his stuff, right? We like, oh, let's make another one. So then Victor go, yeah, let me change the script. So anyway, we changed the script of The Immortal as we are shooting this film, and The Immortal became like an action supernatural thriller, and it's really good because with that one, everything has to look real. Like the hero is not like a superhero; he's just like a normal guy, but doesn't die. There's an explanation, but he just doesn't die, but he bleeds and they feel pain like everyone else. So the fight totally different, much more realistic. Sort of like John Wick kind of thing.
Yeah. So when is that due to come out?
It's gonna be at the Japan Tokyo Film Festival this September, October, which is like a massive film festival in Japan. In Asia, it's like the Cannes Film Festival or something like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's gonna be on that, and then we're gonna start releasing it international. But it's a bigger project than this one.
Okay, that's really interesting. So just coming back to Loi Bao, the other thing I wanted to ask, have you made any plans for distribution in the West or in UK or any other territories at the moment?
So with Loi Bao, it's already been released like in cinema in Vietnam, like in the whole country, and then it was sold to like Japan and Korea and so on, India and all this Asia country. Currently, we have a sales agent, and they are selling it in Cannes Film Festival a few months ago, and then there's some other festival coming up. So we are looking for distribution company for like Europe, but it's been released in Asia.
Okay, so if any European distributors see this, please give them a call. Okay, I'm going to open up to questions from the floor actually, because I think we've got just enough time to fit in a few questions. Jessica, can you give me a hand with this?
Yes.
Does anyone want to ask any questions?
Hey, how was it working with the lead actor? How was it working with the lead actor?
Oh, I think it's great. And in 7, it's like first day I arrived, suddenly we just bond together like brothers, And they just look at us and I want to train, I'm not really physically, and he's the dancer. I said, cool. So I will quit all my events. So at least from day 1, he was training with us. It was really hot. I was there like talk about 35, 40 degrees, and then no aircon. So literally you walk into the training place, you just like sauna, sweating. Like I was there like about 2-3 months, I lost about 4 or 5 kilos. Come back, wow, skinny. He's good. It's brilliant.
So he didn't have a background in martial arts?
No.
Do Do you find that there's, when you work with martial arts actors, people who have martial arts background and don't have martial arts backgrounds, is there, sometimes are they easier to work with or are they harder to work with when they don't have the background?
I think it's all depend. And most people they're pretty good, you know. I like a lot of actors, and some they have a basic, you know, martial art background. Some don't, and I think it all depend the individual how much he wants to dwell in front screen. You know, obviously some is I don't plan to do anything. It's just need to double. Some just want to do everything. You know, so I think mostly they're pretty good. You know, and they want to appear on screen look nice, you know, for audience. They don't look shit anyway. So.
Good. Any other questions from the audience? There's Nani over there in the middle.
Well, first of all, congratulations. It was really fun.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
My question is, so one thing you notice when you watch movies like this and Eastern movies in general is the way that they do action is mostly, you know, wide shots and clear choreography, stuff like that, while in Hollywood this doesn't happen often. So in your experience, is this one of the frustrations that you probably have in Hollywood, since you mentioned that you're not free to do exactly what you want to do, not 100% like you would do in a movie like this? So I was wondering if this is part of the frustration, or if not, what's your biggest frustration in Hollywood?
That's a very good question. And people who work in Hollywood films, they all have the kind of same questions. Sometimes we ask ourselves. And you know, obviously, Asian action and the Hollywood action is quite different the way they shoot. I think the main thing is what I found the big difference is in Hollywood. So the second year directors or action directors, whatever do, they have no right to sit with the editor to cut the editing. Because for example, if you are editor, you don't have no ideas about my vision. So as an action director, as an action choreographer, you have your vision, you have your rhythm, you have your whatever. So obviously, when you set it, you know when you shoot that scenes, you know what angle is the best, what is the whatever. So you have to sell this action. So when you set with the editor, you can edit nicely. But in Hollywood, whatever you shoot, you just leave to the editors, and they will edit. They have no ideas what kind of fight scenes, which is rhythm you want. You just think, oh, what is look good? You know, sometimes they not just, oh, you know. But then, from their ideas, obviously they did not, and they just act whatever they think. And also, you said that when the films get too long, the first they cut is action. So in Asia, it's different. So basically, they want to show. That's why I said the close-up or wide shot. So in terms of we shoot more on wide shot, then you can see the action more clear. So obviously, see a lot of times see the actions they very close up. Just see them moving. You can't see anything, you know. So it's just waste of the choreography, you know. And yeah, so it's we will have that kind of frustration. That's why I felt like that it's great to work in Vienna and Asia. So you have so much power as an action director that you can just design and shoot, finish, and just sit there and edit with the editor and whatever you want. You know, this is kind of freedom. That's why I felt like it's great experience to working in Vienna. At the same time, but Jason just said, listen, you choose something you vision you can just show on screen, or you just working here, just choreograph and whatever to tell you to do. I said, well, working all the years, I'd like to have the opportunity to do something a little bit different and just have that kind of something because I want to see the screen. Oh yes, this is the day when we did this one, this day when I was 30. This is whatever. It's bring a lot of members, at the same time, it's given me a lot of kind of satisfaction. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Got one in the middle over there as well.
Hi. First of all, it was great to see a Vietnamese movie being shown in London. So being Vietnam, I feel particularly proud to be here today. So thank you so much for your work. My question is, how was the movie perceived in the cinema in Vietnam? Growing up in Vietnam, most of the people watch TV series. Was the movie, did the box office meet your expectations? And more importantly, how big is the movie industry in Vietnam?
Yeah, so in Vietnam, typically they usually like romantic comedy, horror movie, that kind of stuff. But luckily, because with Victor Vu is like one of the most famous director in Vietnam, he gets to choose to do whatever he wants, and the investor would just allow him to do. So for us, we know when we make movie, we don't really care about if it's gonna make smash budget, whatever, box office. We just want to create something new and different for Vietnam. And so then when the opportunity came, we just took in, we want to do something new for Vietnam, like a new superhero movie for Asia. In terms of box office, it did really well. In terms of when it came out, it was definitely it came number 2 only because it was against the Rock movie. It was Jumanji, and we didn't expect that to be a big movie in Vietnam, so we purposely released at the same day of Jumanji, and that kind of took the spot for number 1 for us. But otherwise, it did really well, and we went on to do Immortal straight after that.
Thank you. So we've got enough time for one more question. So is there any other questions? Okay, so I guess lastly, Jason, now since we have some, do we have one? Oh, one at the back. Okay, let's do one more.
It's okay, I can project. Can you hear me?
Excellent, yeah, great, so clear.
Fantastic. So I'm extremely curious, so this is a very, lovely.
Is this working? Oh yes, hello. So this is more of a very personal question to both you, Vincent and Jason. This film is, well, first of all, it's so fantastic. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for bringing it to London and giving me the opportunity to see it along with all these people here. It's been a real pleasure and privilege. So main question is, this film really carries a very strong metaphoric spirit of fighting for life, basically. It's not just the action, it's not just the graphic telling of the rise of a hero and facing the challenges. It's also the struggle of a father, of a husband, and trying to find his place in this resurrection. And there's a lot of inspiring themes there. Have any of these themes inspired you both as men, with your families or with your partners, so on and so forth? And is there anything that you've learned from this that you're going to take into the future for yourselves and for more creative films?
Yeah, it's a really deep question, you know. So, as we all know, I have 2 boys, and one's 16, the other one's is, obviously, can't have age, okay? 13, basically. And obviously, every child, especially boy, and they see their dad as a hero. So, as fathers, you always give them the influence, big influence. So obviously in the films, and obviously we always try to show the audience and show the young kids the inspirations. And as dad myself, and my 2 sons always look at me as a hero, because when they were born, and they always see me training every day, because I was come from background from China, and I was professionally doing wushu, and I was chosen by government. Since the age 6, I left home, I left the school, and so I never lived with my parents. After 6 years old, and obviously, it's always show them, what is the real man and how the father do. So this is something which just guide them now until now. My 2 boys, they're doing really well. My older one is a swimmer, and the young one is high diver. But nobody follow my way. Even the young ones, Daddy, I want to be stuntman. I said, please. I said, look, yeah, you will have better future anyway. So being stuntman is something which is it's exciting, and it's film, as your question say that there are a lot of things which is in the real life. Obviously, as a father, as a man who knew that he's going to die, and he sees his wife, kids still young, can feel the pain, At the same time, why he want to do this operation is because he want to live, to give the son, and the wife, obviously a good life. Sometimes we do it anyway, as man, as husband, you always try your best to try to give your children a better life and give you, the wife and family as securities, whatever, I think something you just said, we always try our best in movies as well, we try to inspire, more families, more man and children. So something we just, we always keep trying.
Jason, any words on that quickly?
Yeah, so I guess for me, the core of the film was anyone can be a hero, in the sense that you can do small things and you can still be a hero. So for me, it made me to look back at what my mom did for me. So I grew up with no mom and no father. So she came to England when she was like 50 and 40 something, and she had to work like in the market and stuff like that to pay me through to school and so on, and all the sacrifices she did for me to go to school and to follow my dream, to do this kind of thing like we do, which is not really like a real job. So for me, my mother was is my hero, and the other person is my hero is actually Vincent, because he inspired me in the way that he choreographed the action scenes. So for example, a quick example would be when you watch a musical movie, each song tells a story, and for me, Vincent approach to every action scene, he tells a story. So for example, the end scene, the hero is fighting with Luke on the river, and on the original script, the wife, she didn't get stabbed on the chest, she just gets punched in the face and she would just faint on the river. But then Vincent decided to have her stabbed on the chest because half of the beginning fight was like Luke was winning the hero, and so he decided that if we stab the wife, then the hero would then have to reach deep inside to find the strength and to protect his family and to save his wife and to overcome this guy. So for me, in his approach of working, he became my hero, and hence why the second project or whatever, I always think of him.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the question as well. Thank you for those answers. So,
Thanks a lot for that.
So we're going to have to wrap up now, I'm afraid, but I just want to thank Vincent and Jason for coming tonight and for sharing their film with us as well. I hope you've enjoyed yourself, and it's been a great film to close off the Fighting Spirit Film Festival for this year. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you to Fighting Spirit Festival.
So just a few closing remarks from myself, as I'm the assistant director of the festival, if you don't know. I just wanted to thank everybody for coming, especially the ones who have gone through everything in the last 2 days. It's an amazing effort, and this is the first time I've sat down in 2 days, I think. So it definitely I feel quite a lot of relief now having gone through everything. If this is your first time here, thank you very much for coming. Please follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, if you want to find out more about us, and keep supporting us in our vision to bring action cinema on the screen and to the people as well, and to build up filmmakers and everybody involved in film at the same time. So thank you very much for coming, and we will be back next year, right here in September. Thank you.
Thank you.